passing stern, passing stern.
Copy.
Yeah, just always acknowledge anything that comes by. See how I can't fight my way to the center? Because that's that current. Well, we'll see if I can just keep battling it here. Maybe let's increase speed to 0.5.
Bridge, can we increase speed to 0.5 knots?
Roger, we will do now.
As soon as I turn sideways, I'm just going to get pushed back over to port. It's like all the forward thrust I have, and I barely get there.
So Taylor, is this still considered 1929 or are we 1930?
1930.
Roger that.
Yeah. Same dive plan, just different number.
You just make sure all your like cameras working and all that kind of stuff, Michael. Just because we were having trouble with it. You're going down. Roger. Yeah. Yeah. Can you turn on your depth sensor, please? I'm not getting any delta. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, we should throw those on when you're on the deck, just, you know, because if there's a problem, then we're on
Audio
the deck,
slate.
all right?
This is an audio slate for dive H1930
Yeah, let's zero reps.
at
Yep,
2009 mark.
Control, DAC 50 meters, 50.
Roger. We're ready
Roger.
for control. We're ready for control.
We're ready for control.
Control's yours.
Okay. All right, we're going down. Gonna get the craft up there. Let's flip over to dive salvo. Yeah, we can stop. Just gonna give the craft a bump. And what am I going down out here? 23. We'll shoot for 30-ish. I'll slow down with it. Delta's at 8. Yeah, let's just wait till we get to about right now. It's about like 100 meters or something like that. I don't know why. Yeah, well, you know what? Going down is not a big deal. It's going to unwrap just fine. Just the wrapping up. I think we're good.
Okay.
We can say we need to see in that little view.
Pilots, are we ready for introductions?
We don't have, that's on Argus, so we don't have that sub bottom on Atalanta.
No.
So first thing we're going to pick up is our Doppler. Here about probably a 70, 80-ish, something like that. We can run these guys, hopefully. You got power on, you got power onto your mezzo. Ooh, crash. Or it'll just crash, one or the other. No data from the winch. That's probably a Tim thing. Hey. That's about the extent of my troubleshooting knowledge right there. Yeah. I'm not worried about it. I just like to have it all up. Morning. It is. Yep. Okay. There was I don't know. There was 2 floating around. I connected it. I put the QD in there for sure. Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, that's good because I lost it on the very first dive and I made another one. Roger. Good. Okay. Thank you. It's on the board. It's on the board. We can do ours after our watch. Yeah. Speed up. I like little Atalanta. Yeah, that's true. And the big Zeus shot is a lot nicer, obviously.
Aloha, Josh. Are you folks ready for questions or introductions? I don't think you can hear me.
Oh, I'm ready.
You ready?
Sure.
All right. Mahalo.
Mahalo.
So, aloha kakayaka. Welcome to the You're Muted watch. We are all
I think
officially
you're muted.
unmuted. So far, so good. Thank you for joining us today. We have successfully troubleshooted all of everything and we're able to launch Nautilus and Atalanta on our next dive here to explore the unnamed seamount number 7 here in the Pacific Remote Island Marine National Monument. So we're going to be experiencing a good amount of blue water as we get to our destination. We are currently at about 248 meters in depth with a temperature of about 24 degrees Celsius and a salinity of 34 degrees. As we ascend, or descend, excuse me, hopefully we will find some fun stuff in the water column to talk about. I'd like to go around and do some quick introductions to let you know who you are engaging with on our You're Muted crew. So I am going to officially mute. I'm going to start with Rob.
Yeah, good morning, everyone, or evening, or afternoon, wherever you are. I'm Rob Colony. I'm the watch leader for the You're Muted team. I'm also the geology lead for this cruise. And,
Go ahead, Lynch.
I'm from the University of Rhode Island, and originally from upstate New York. And what's my favorite? What do we have a favorite anything that we're going for?
So the question of the day is, if you could be any marine organism, what would you be? And why? Right.
Definitely an ROV.
I'm not sure that counts.
But actually, I think I changed it from ROV to ROB.
ROV.
That would be an excellent ROB to complement the ROV. Thank you, Rob. Aloha, Liz. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey everyone, I'm Liz Miller. I'm a guest scientist here from University of Hawaii, where I'm a PhD student. I'm here on this watch as a biologist. If I could be any sea creature, I think I might want to be a mola mola.
Ooh.
They have a pretty good life. They, you know, they don't get eaten by many things. They just kind of get to bask at the surface in the sun, and then they dive down and feed and come back up. And I don't know, it sounds like a pretty good life to me.
Right?
Yeah,
Good food, good times.
Yeah, just kind of chilling at the surface.
Just cruising,
Yeah.
forever voyaging.
I think it sounds pretty good.
That'd be cool. I like that. I like that. Mahalo, Liz. Aloha, Taylor.
Aloha. My name is Taylor Ann. I am the data logger on this watch and a science manager on the Nautilus. And I'm also a graduate student at Cal State Northridge, where I'm studying microplastic pollution in the deep sea. And if I could be any marine organism, it would definitely be a blue whale, just because of how massive they are and how old. So, yeah, they're
Just
pretty
their
impressive
realm.
creatures. I just want to see the ocean from their eyes. So.
For real. That'd be amazing. Oh, thank you, Taylor Ann. Emma.
Hi, everyone. I'm Emma. I am the navigation intern right now. And if I were to be any sea creature, I think that I would be a dolphin. They seem pretty good. Or a sea turtle. They seem relaxed. That's nice.
Both of them really love va'a. Thank you, Emma. Aloha, Josh.
Hello there, Josh Chernov. I'm the Herc pilot on this watch, and I'm the RV operations manager for OET. Hail from Vancouver Island, British Columbia. Sea creature. I think it might be similar to Taylor Ann. I think of a sperm whale, because I'd like to be able to dive down and chase giant squid. Show the battle wounds.
Oh, I love it. Awesome. Aloha, Michael. Welcome to the You're Muted watch. If you aren't muted, you feel free to unmute.
Welcome, Michael. We had a swap, we had a change here, so we got to welcome Michael to our...
Yeah, nice fresh face.
Yeah, aloha, mahalo, thank you. Yeah, so let's see, my name is Michael, as everyone seems to say. I'm going to be co-pilot. I'm piloting at Atlanta, not Argus, today. Right next to Josh. And I hail from California, Southern California specifically.
Oh, awesome.
The LA area. I'm a grad student at UCLA.
Oh.
And let's see, does a kraken count? Are we going fishing, non-fishing?
Hey, anything that you identify with. That's the most
other than
important.
kraken it is. That's what I'm doing.
I like it. Thanks for cracking. Oh, mahalo, Michael. Aloha, Dave.
Hey, everybody. Dave Robertson, lead video engineer for this expedition, sitting in the video seat today, pushing the buttons. Make sure everyone's unmuted. If you are muted, I can unmute you remotely. I have the control. If I could be a sea creature, kind of like the sea turtle idea, Hanu.
I love the Hanu.
Yeah, I've snorkeled with them and that kind of stuff. Followed them around. Ran into one time.
Oh,
he was just as surprised as I was.
Sure, you made friends.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah.
Oh, they are beautiful.
Yeah,
Mahalo, Dave.
And
Yvonne.
Dave,
Mahalo.
Dave, I can only assume that you can unmute us, that you can mute us as well.
That's true. That's true. What would think?
This is Ivan Vicente, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. I'm fascinated with killer whales, but I would be a non.
Well, you would be what?
I would be a non-whale killing whale. I wouldn't kill a whale if I was a killer whale. There's plenty of other stuff to eat, but yeah, I'm fascinated with killer whales, and the other option would be Naya, of course, spear dolphins, indeed. Yeah.
Right, Naya. They're always so wonderful. Dave, I do have a request to see if we can put the web channel 3 on to see video to see us in the control van. It sounds like.
Go ahead.
To see our intros.
Yeah, I only have
If
a few cameras, but I can do that.
Thank you so. Oh, hey, here we are. Hi, everybody.
Yes, we can go back there.
Nice. Mahalo, you guys, for the intros. So
You can go 0.5.
Can we
Dave is
make a course
officially
of
the mute
270
commander.
at 0.2 knots?
At the end of the day, Dave is the rock star.
Or
Who
0.5
can mute
knots?
or unmute us. So aloha mai kako. I am Hokupi Hana. I'm your science communicator. And I am from Mokuokeawe, the big island of Hawaii. I reside on the side of Pele over in the Puna district, and I am here to share all of the wonderful adventures of our deep dives with you folks. If I were to be a marine organism, I wonder if anybody could guess what that would be.
Nudibranch.
I'm going nudibranch.
That would be one for sure. Sorry, I just jumped out of my seat. But absolutely, that would be the Glossodoris poliahu. But my other one, I definitely, and I always embrace it because I feel like it's just, it would be the he'e, the octopus. I would embrace the ano of the he'e. I feel like they're so skilled and methodical, and their tentacles have functions and purpose that are doing, and as a mother, I feel like that a lot, where I have to do multiple tasks all at the same time. So I would be a he'e if I wasn't a nudibranch. Thank you, guys. Awesome. I do have some questions coming in, and I'm gonna, let's see here. I think this will pass to the pilots if you folks are ready.
Sure.
Does the Atalanta stay connected to the A-frame winch during the entirety of the dive?
Sorry, can you just repeat that? I didn't
No,
quite hear
no
you.
problem. Does the Atalanta stay connected to the A-frame winch during the entirety of the dive?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so we have a winch on board, actually under the deck on the Nautilus, traction winch, which houses 7,000 meters of armored umbilical cable, and that comes up through the deck to a turning shiv and then out to the A-frame that folks see at home, and that goes over that overboarding shiv, we call it, and then down to Atalanta. So that always stays secured, and that's how we control the vertical position of Atalanta, by winching up and down, because Atalanta is quite heavy. And so it just holds, it's meant to really just hold the cable down and help manage that cable. So when we move the ship, that's why Atalanta swings towards, you'll kind of talk, well, you'll hear us talking about layback. And so when the ship moves, obviously it takes some time, especially if you're down 2-3 kilometers away, for that cable to kind of keep up to the ship.
Nice.
And Atalanta will always want to swing towards where the ship is.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Josh. And if you were able to have a look at our channel feed 3, there we were showing the winches here, just to give you an idea of what that all entails when we're keeping Atalanta in position there. And then another question for the pilots: why is the team using the Atalanta instead of the Argus?
Yeah, in this area, it's really deep, and Argus is a lot heavier than Atalanta. So it's a little, when we go down deeper, we have to be a little more concerned about the weather. So as the weather increases, that increases the tension forces on our cable. And the heavier depressor, the heavier sled vehicle that we have on there, the higher tensions that will be. And so since we were planning a lot of deep dives, we put Atalanta on, and that kind of opens up our operational window a bit more with weather, and allows us to dive maybe in a case where with Argus on there we may not be able to.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Thank you, Josh. And then I have a question here for Dave. Awesome panoramic view of the deck. Is that view possible by putting together the views of different cameras, or is that a wide angle lens?
Wow, good catch. There it is on Sat Feed 3. That's actually 4 camera sensors that are stitched together. And then there's also a bit of a wide angle lens as well. But it does give a 180-degree view. And that's a new addition last season. And we really like it a lot because it gives one overall view of the aft deck. You can see everything going on all at once. So yeah, good catch. That's 4 cameras stitched together.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. Yeah, that Sat Feed 3 really helps give that visual. And so just in regards to who is the mute commander, that would be Dave. He is our mute commander. What else here do we? I think we got through all of our questions thus far. So, oh, we did have one here for the pilots, if you folks are ready.
Sure.
What was the problem that abruptly ended the previous dive? Ray in North Florida.
Sure, yeah, good question. Yeah, so we have the communications path to the RVs are fiber optic. And on the ROV, we have a fiber optic cable that comes out of our oil field junction box and connects into the 1 atmosphere bottle on Atalanta, and that cable failed and basically stopped the light from passing. And so we had to replace that. Happens occasionally.
Wow.
So relatively easy fix, but annoying nonetheless.
Awesome. Thank you, Josh, for sharing that info with us.
Sure.
So just some quick updates here for you in regards to our descension to the bottom. So currently, we are at a depth of 582 meters, and our goal is to reach a depth of approximately 2,300 meters in depth to reach the bottom of the floor. And that's going to take us about 71 minutes. And we're currently moving at a velocity of 23.8 meters per minute. So there will be a lot of time for questions, conversations, and learning about what we hope to see once we reach the bottom of the floor.
I'll try and speed up a little bit, Michael.
Yeah.
And the never nudie,
It's always so
nudibranch
sensitive. I'll go like a couple clicks and it'll like start racing down.
is so pretty. I had to, yes. I think all nudibranchs are fantastic and serve such an important function in our marine environment. And the never nudibranch has really cute branchial plumes. Ooh, the rarest. Thank you for asking the nudibranch questions.
So just to update everyone on today's dive, where we're going to do our objectives. Just like most of this expedition, we're going to be doing looking at the biology, look at the abundance, the availability, and the biodiversity as we go along our dive tracks. In addition, we're going to be looking at some of the morphology, the geology, and hopefully grab some rocks to potentially characterize the geochemistry and the age of some of these features. And also, we're also looking for some nodules to see if the abundance of these features, to see if there's a tendency or a preference for these things to form. And the feature we're diving on today is an unnamed seamount number 7. And this is an interesting shaped seamount this time. Instead of the circular or radiating sort of seamount, this has more of a triangular shape. And the reason I think there's a triangular shape is a lineament that cuts across this thing. It could potentially be a fault or something, and it sets up a really interesting region that we can look at. Overall, the seamount's about 3,500 meters high, and goes to a depth of a shallowest point of about 1,400 meters, and we're going to be looking at the top 1,000 meters or so, and it should take about 16 hours, because that's where it's going to be interesting. We'll be going right along the edge of this fault or lineament, along to the top of the seamount. So hopefully it lends itself for a lot of interesting sponges, corals, and biology, and of course holothurians and sea urchins for Liz.
Yes. Thank you, Rob, for that synopsis. That's super helpful. And
If you were watching the stream, a pretty big, I think, siphonophore just went by, which is a type of jellyfish.
So Liz, tell us about that urchin.
About the urchin from yesterday?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm curious to know
yeah.
how.
You worked so hard to get
what you
it.
saw that. I know it was.
Yeah, it was a beautiful sample. It was completely intact when it came up. Yeah, it was looking great. Yeah, it was really interesting. I was expecting that it was going to be what we call a deposit feeder, so feeding on the sediment, because the previous urchin that we'd collected had been like that, and a lot of them are. But in fact, when I opened it up, I saw that that wasn't the case. Oh, there's another siphonophore. but inside of its gut contents, it actually had a lot of little bits of animals instead of
Oh.
sediments. Just that's a predator, potentially like a scavenger. Looked like it had some brittle star bits in it, maybe even some coral polyps. So that was kind of a cool surprise.
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah, I mean I was searching the literature, and there's just not a lot about what they eat. So that's kind of a cool. I don't want to call it a discovery. It's possible that other people have looked at this before, but it wasn't something that was readily available information for me at least. So that was pretty cool.
That is rad. That's really neat. How about the one that we collected?
The purple one?
Like a little smooshy.
Yeah.
Were you able to get anything from that? Or
yeah.
use? I know you said you were going to be able to use like.
Yeah, I was actually still able to use the one that got a little smushed. It wasn't quite as good of a sample, but same thing. It seemed like it had been eating little animals instead of the sediment. So
cool.
Yeah, it was a cool discovery.
So I'd kind of guess that, like, maybe Rob can answer this, but like calcium carbonate is pretty low in availability down there. Is kind of maybe a reason why the urchin doesn't put a lot of energy into building the shell like that normally you see in shallower water?
Yeah, so yeah, it basically to create those really thick, hard, what we call a test, like what you would see with the shallow water urchin, that just takes a lot of energy. And down there, they don't really have to worry as much about predation from things with strong jaws. So they, they still do protect themselves against predation. That's why they have the shell and they have the spines, but it's not like in shallow waters where you're going to be thrown around by, waves. Something's trying to chew on you that has really strong jaws. Down in the deep sea, things are a lot weaker, and there is again that predation threat, but it's different. So when we brought it up, they kind of look like a water balloon. They jiggle around. It's pretty cool because
I never
test.
realized how like it was almost just a little bag of water. Like it was.
So delicate.
Yeah, they're not really full of tissue. They basically have their gut tract, they have some gonads, and everything else is just a little bit of connective tissue, and then otherwise they're basically just full of water.
The essentials.
Yep.
Bare necessities.
Exactly.
That was pretty cool. I'd never seen anything like that before. That was interesting.
So is squished an official scientific term, or is
yes.
or is maybe loss of structural integrity more appropriate?
Squishy.
Squishy is easier. It's simpler.
You have to say squishy.
Well, this is interesting for me because it's kind of like
this
another sampling. We tried to sample what we thought was going to work, and I was assuming that there was going to be a test of some type there, but no.
Yep, yeah,
so
they're
at
like
least I was happy
tissue
we got a
paper.
second shot at it. So I'll know for next time too, because that's pretty cool to just learn about those, different kind of sampling techniques with the different animals. So it's kind of interesting.
That looked really challenging when you were trying to like get it.
That was hard,
yeah.
Right with the scoop.
Flipping it up like a pancake.
You were determined though.
Oh yeah, no, I wasn't gonna let that one go. That was definitely.
Oh, what is that?
After we spent all that time getting there, yeah.
I know, the first one was so hard, I was pretty disappointed.
Yeah, you can rip through their test with your fingers, so
yeah,
it's not going to stand up to the claw.
No, no. So yeah, kind of
really
take it personally. Yeah.
Rob, were you able to take a look at some of the samples that you collected yesterday? I was curious about that one rock that was flat with the 3, you were saying layers or divisions in it?
Well, I mean, we haven't cut them open.
Oh.
But what I heard, I mean, Taylor Ann could probably tell more about what that interesting feature was.
Oh, yeah.
You're talking about the long, flat one?
Uh-huh.
I don't know. Yeah, can I say what it was? What is it?
I don't know.
Yeah, it was potentially a beaked whale skull fragment.
What?
What?
Yeah, so we were looking up, I don't know who discovered it
Was that a
first,
but
but somebody on board was looking at photos of them, and it looks, very like identical to the pictures we were seeing online of them. And
It wasn't a rock?
Nope. It explains why it was heavy though.
Yeah, they collected it because they thought it looked organic, not like a rock. It was a little too symmetrical.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because the geologists were like, yeah, you don't really see a feature like this in geology
Yeah, that's what
naturally.
he was saying.
And
Oh,
they thought it
wow.
might be like
The
wood,
angle was
but
different.
it was too heavy for wood.
Yeah, too heavy.
So
But
was it fossilized or like
Covered
covered in
and manganese, yeah.
the manganese?
Yeah.
So that is what
Oh.
kept it in that structure.
Huh.
Wow, interesting. That's awesome. That's interesting.
Dibs.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah.
How long is it going to take to get the
So
ship
then
to
we
waypoint
know
one?
that beaked whales are found in this area. Or
It's pretty cool that we found that. And I wouldn't have thought to even grab it, so whoever did, thank you.
was that you, Rob? Was that on? Didn't we grab it on this
Not
one?
on our watch. I think it was Kevin that saw it.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah.
interesting,
Quick
amazing.
maths.
Yeah,
Yep.
so you should go take a look at it in the wet lab.
Oh yes, I will be telling our story tomorrow, so be ready, everybody. DK, come into the wet lab.
7 minutes. That's it,
7 minutes.
I think. I could be wrong.
How far is it?
Nice.
100,
Oh.
100 meters.
100 meters?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Right on. That sounds reasonable. Just want to make sure the ship gets there before we do.
Oh, wait, no, I was wrong. It's more meters than that.
More meters.
More meters.
Mo meters, mo time. I was going to say 100 meters the ship is. I'm just looking at the scale of the ship. That looks like more than 100.
Yeah.
Looks like more than 1.5 ships.
I'm on fire today.
Are we gonna get the goofy giggles again?
Nope.
It's infectious.
No.
Josh had to turn me down yesterday.
We're all
There's,
gonna
there's
get
times for
muted.
giggling and there's times for focus time. And
Okay, focus.
when we're launching and recovering the vehicles, that's the focus
That's
time.
focus.
Fair enough.
No distractions. That's a lot of marine snow. Yeah, that we're looking at.
27 minutes.
27 minutes.
Dang.
Still good.
Okay.
I want to look at the plankton. So Taylor, in your microplastic research, are you looking at microplastic compositions in and among planktons too, or just really throughout? What are you looking? What is your study?
Yeah, so plankton is something that I was interested in, but just wasn't able to sample.
Interesting.
But the things that I was able to collect were water samples along a depth gradient. So
Okay.
from surface down
do a quick
to, I think,
spin with
max
the- on
depth
the
I have
comps
is
with the ball.
3,800 meters. And so I want to see if there's a difference of abundance and types of microplastics as you go through those layers of the water column.
Yeah.
And then I also was able to collect some holothurians, so some sea pigs, to see if they're feeding on microplastics potentially in the sediment. So then I would also pair that with a push core when possible to see if I can analyze that in their environment, as well as a Niskin, to see if they're what's present in the environment and the organism itself.
Amazing.
Yeah, so I was able to collect those samples from within the Monterey Bay and Channel Islands National Marine Sanctuaries,
Oh,
and
that's
some places that aren't yet part of the sanctuary but might be proposed to be added. So yeah, I was able to collect some sea pens as well, since those guys feed in the water column, to see if there's any potential way that they would be grabbing onto microplastics as well.
Have you been able to find anything yet, or have you started your?
Yeah, so I have. I'm currently in the process of using this machine called a micro FTIR, which uses infrared technology to look at these fibers that I'm finding to tell me if they are plastic or not. So the system has a whole library full of known plastics from either factories or plastics that were collected from the shore or wherever. And it uses the infrared technology to tell me the absorbance and the refraction of light to tell me what plastic that I'm looking at exactly and what percentage match it is. And I have found some nylon fibers. I've found polyester fibers as well.
It takes the pilot's pressure.
But I'm still in the process of doing the analysis and seeing the significance of the data that I found.
Okay.
And I still have some more samples to look at under the FTIR. But yeah,
Awesome.
it's seeming like I'm finding microplastics, but fibers mostly.
Fibers mostly, not
From
so
clothing.
much like flex from clothing. Yeah, so as a marine steward, that was something I really became conscious of. Like, and a paddler, you know, I mean, we're on the ocean. We have a really intimate relationship with the ocean, voyaging, and I was starting to realize the contradictions of our behaviors unintentionally with what we were wearing and what we were using. Like, even like, so we do a lot of strength training, and we'll put the foam squishy little floaties on there to help give us some drag, so we can start focusing on technique and strength building. And I was looking at it, and it was hard for me. I'm really trying to push in my canoe club to change that and not use the styrofoam floaties anymore as a drag. I'm like, we can use, and not even tires, anything that is made of rubber or plastic. We can use organic materials. We can use a plankton net, you know what I mean, to create the drag.
Yeah, yeah.
And I've been thinking about that.
Yeah, those types of innovations are really important to start thinking about. And I know there are folks working on new technologies to replace plastic with organic materials. So
that's awesome.
I think it could totally happen. But yeah, we want to make sure that we're keeping track of what is out there.
Right, and I think it's so important, like with what you're doing, the research that you're doing is so important to contribute to that. And then it also, on the other side, it's important to like really provide those resources within our community that help evoke those changes. So if there's more opportunity to buy jerseys made out of recycled plastic material, I would buy a gazillion. And I would stop buying all of the other.
Yeah, another good alternative thing you can do if you can't really, you know, afford to buy more sustainable materials at the moment, because sometimes they are a little bit more expensive.
They are. I'm looking for a seamstress.
Yeah, you can totally go thrifting, which is something I've been doing more often.
Really?
Because when you're purchasing these new polyester derivative like clothing, when you wash them for like the first maybe 5 to 10 times, a lot of microplastics are coming out of them because they're, you know, fairly new, and they're made like that on purpose with these small intentionally created fibers. So if you're buying secondhand clothing, you know, we're not creating that much of a demand for these plastic derived pieces of clothing, and you know, you're just reusing and reducing. So yeah, I definitely recommend going thrifting. You can find so many nice clothes thrifting. So
that is very true.
Yeah, that is something you can do that's small and affordable for everyone.
Yeah, I've been really searching for like for us, rash guards are super hard to find in like recycled materials. And I can find the fabrics, but I can't find the seamstress to make the cuts and, you know, make the clothing.
Yeah, well, hopefully there's someone listening out there. We can start
Seamstress,
collaborating.
Fabric, call me. No. But yeah, I feel like with your work in combination with like community change, like if there's more resources available to evoke the lifestyle change, then
because that's who the science is for, right? The community. Yeah, it's for everyone.
Right, and then like what Liz is doing with your sea cucumbers and understand the microbial content, and I mean those are really profound things to understand what our deep sea creatures and all of our creatures are doing, consuming, and then how that affects their environment and then us as a community, right? Because it all ties back.
Yep, it's a big web.
It's all interconnected. Liz, could you talk a little bit more about that and share like how your research ties in to these efforts? Because I know you were sharing it earlier when we first met.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm asking a pretty kind of like fundamental question of basically how do deep sea animals get enough to eat? You know, they're in what we call a food poor environment. They're reliant on little bits of dead and decaying material sinking from surface waters and settling. In the case of the sea cucumbers, it settles into the sediment, and then they eat the sediment and sort of filter out the little bits of organic material and get rid of everything else. But this process of material sinking from surface waters, we call this the biological carbon pump. And it's a really important, there's something.
Squirrel. Sorry.
It's okay. I mean, we're basically we're looking at the biological carbon pump right now. So if you look at the view of the water, you can see all those little particles, these little bits of material that's sinking out of surface waters. And basically what happens is in surface waters, phytoplankton, so little tiny microscopic plants, they photosynthesize. And so they take carbon, which has diffused from the atmosphere as CO2 into the water. And they use that CO2 to create sugars. It's the basic photosynthesis reaction.
Okay.
And so we call that fixing carbon. So instead of being as a gaseous CO2, it's now fixed into their bodies. And
something that they could use now?
Yeah, and so either they die and that sinks down, or they're eaten by something else and that thing dies and sinks down. But basically that carbon that was in the atmosphere is carbon dioxide, goes into phytoplankton and eventually goes down to the deep sea. And once it's in the deep sea, it's going to stay there for a long time. It's not going to go back up into the atmosphere.
Because of the density of that environment, it doesn't like
expect
it to, like,
yeah, it's not going to go back up, at least not for thousands of years, or in some cases potentially millions. And so this is one of the largest, what we call sinks of carbon on the planet.
Whoa.
So, you know, as you might know, we're adding a lot of carbon into the atmosphere through climate change and human activities.
Right.
And a lot of it is staying there, but a lot of it is actually taken up by the ocean and stored in the deep sea. And so this is a really, really important process for regulating climate change in our atmosphere. And so part of my work is also trying to understand a little bit better that process of how that material sinks from surface waters down to the deep sea before it reaches these animals like sea cucumbers.
Interesting.
So there's, you know, there's a lot of ways that even though the deep sea seems really remote and far away from us, it's actually really important and affects us a lot.
That's a beautiful explanation. Yeah.
Thank you. No, right. And so we do have a comment in regards to plastics, and, you know, we talk a lot about it and we see using plastic zip ties, but I think one thing that in regards to that comment that we also have to understand is those are the resources that are available to us. And yeah, I think it's evoking that lifestyle change that enables us to reduce the use of plastics and so on and so forth. But it's a process. It takes a while. There are resources out there, but they're not abundant. And once those things are more abundant to us, I think lifestyle changes will occur within our communities that just reduce our use of plastic zip ties and plastic bags and plastic everything.
Yeah, I remember not too long ago when we'd use zip ties and just clip them off and just throw them into the ocean.
Really?
And now we're just very, very, you know, aware of where they are, what happens, even the little bits.
Right.
We're much more careful of where they end up.
Yeah.
It's definitely not on the individual consumer to fix all of this, I think. It's obviously every little person doing just a little bit is going to make a big difference.
And that's why collaboration is so important, why we have to you know, be talking to policymakers and scientists and the community. Everybody needs to be involved. Yeah.
Like if the only clothing available to you is that which is full of microplastics, you know, it's hard to make a choice that's going to make a big difference.
Right, I get troubled, you know, when I walk into a place and those are the only things I have offered to me. And then I start thinking about alternatives. Like, I've switched from using Ziploc plastic bags to reusable cotton bags for my produce. But when you're not at home, or you say you travel out into other places, perhaps those communities haven't adapted so much. So then it's really availability too. So I think, over time, and I have, like, I think for me, for my generation, watching your generation, I have hope, because you guys naturally see this happening and see the need to have to change. And it will take a while, but it will happen, I think. That's awesome work, ladies. Thank you so much for sharing that. I love it.
Yeah.
Rob, how do you feel? Does this tie into anything that you guys are doing and looking at the manganese? I mean, I feel like it's all connected, you know, like all of our work really contributes to a lot of just the health of our environment and our peoples.
Well, mainly I think what we're mostly interested in just how these things form. You know, I mean, they take a long, long time to form, and we just want to try to understand that process and really how long it takes and how, you know, it impacts the environment with these things. That's what we're mostly interested in. I mean, there is some talk about maybe mining these things in certain places, but we really don't know what the impact is if we do take these. So we really need to understand how these things are created.
Right, we can't get ahead of ourselves. And, you know, we get excited and we want to do things, and then the adverse effects are, whoa, we got to slow down a little bit. Oh, cool. Thank you guys for sharing. Yvonne, did you have anything you wanted to contribute to that conversation? Just, I mean, you're seeing it a lot with the seabirds, and, you know, there's different pollutants that have been impacted Johnstons. And it's not necessarily related to plastic, or, you know, I think it's all.
This may have been discussed before, and I'm not sure if I missed it, but What are the projections of some of the climatic changes to reflect in these profound waters beyond 2,000 meters? Rob or Liz or Taylor, maybe if you guys know, have there been any projections on any gradient changes in temperatures in the future as a result of climate change?
Yvonne
Are there any studies or any?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Yeah, repeat that.
Just wondering if there's any projections or any models that may offer shed some light on when we will be seeing impacts from climate change in these deep waters.
Yeah, that's a really good question. It depends a lot on what part of the ocean you're in. So in the Pacific, these deep waters will probably be impacted later than the ones in the Atlantic, just because of how ocean circulation works. Basically, we say that deep waters formed in the North Atlantic. So water in the North Atlantic sinks down into the deep sea, and then it moves along throughout the deep sea in what we kind of call the oceanic conveyor belt.
Right.
And so it starts in the Atlantic, and then it moves into the Pacific. And so the water here, we say that it's older than deep water in the Atlantic. So because the climate changes are happening first in the atmosphere, and so you need that exposure to the atmosphere. And so that water from the North Atlantic is taking up that carbon dioxide. So it's warmer, it's more acidic, more carbon dioxide in it. And so first the Atlantic is going to see those changes, and it's going to take a while longer for that impacted water to make its way into places like this in the Pacific, but it absolutely still will happen, and it will affect it. I'm not great on the time scale. Rob, do you have a?
Well, they say it's about 2,000 years for
2,000?
the full cycle.
According to the IUCN, by 2100, global ocean temperatures will raise by 1 to 4 degrees Celsius. And I actually have a friend working on research about this and off the coast of California in partnership with the NSF, studying how these changes in ocean temperatures and pH could potentially affect hermit crabs as well as snails.
Yeah.
Because those are, two things that rely on calcified shells that ocean acidification could potentially be changing. So yeah, there's a lot of research, I think, focusing on that right now because it is a big issue. With the we want to know what's going to happen with these increases of ocean temperature because it can cause negative effects on these organisms and their ability to breed and many other functions that they are able to normally do. So it's something we really want to monitor.
Yeah, and it's absolutely going to be a problem in the deep sea because the deep sea is a very stable habitat over long periods of time, and a lot of animals there are very long-lived, which means that they don't reproduce frequently. So it takes them, they're not as able to adapt quickly to changing conditions as maybe shorter-lived animals in surface waters might be. And so that's definitely a big concern, is that when that warmer, more acidic water reaches the deep sea, how it's going to affect the animals down there.
What are the important things, though, that, we're talking about change, but it's important to understand what the present conditions are now.
Yeah.
And the National Science Foundation spent a lot of money with these large programs to characterize the ocean properties. Things like WOS and Clivar, where they've done these transects along lines of longitude and along latitude to characterize what the ocean properties are and to understand, what is the present condition so you can actually identify over time what are the potential implications.
Right, because you need to have a baseline or a present understanding.
Plus that information allows you to provide models that to understand the circulation of these sorts of things. And like they say, all models are wrong and some are useful.
Yeah.
So, at least it gives us a handle on what potential, if you twist this knob, what is potential effect.
Yeah. Good point. Thank you, guys. What a great conversation.
If you're interested in knowing more about that, I have a mentor that is a professor at UCLA that studies paleoclimatology, which is studying the history of climate. And a lot of her research focuses on the old climate records to see what we could potentially predict what would happen if we're going to see those, if we have seen those changes
pretty cool.
before in history, you know, before we were here, and what could happen. But yeah, her name is Dr. Aradhana Tripathi, and she does a lot of research
That'd be awesome.
at UCLA. So yeah.
Yeah, I always think about it through the lens of the Kumulipo. The Kumulipo is a Hawaiian creation chant, and we really look to that. It tells a story of just from a native Hawaiian worldview of how we came to be. And it starts from the depths of the oceans, and it leads us all the way into the realms of our Akua, into our Mauna, and into the Lani. And it names organisms beginning with the coral polyp, or the Ukuakuakua. And so I think about that a lot with consumptions, like what is happening within our plankton community. If we're hindering growth at the most, you know, immediate level,
Yeah, that,
you know?
yeah, the basic level of,
Basic level, it's pretty, something to think about.
Yep. I mean, one of the other things that NSF, you talk about the paleoceanography, understanding the past climate. There have been, you know, ocean drilling programs that look at sediments and look at the history that you can see in the sediments and the coring and drilling that has been essential to our understanding. And it started off with a deep sea drilling program, which was initially there to prove or disprove plate tectonics. And it was very successful at doing that. Then it evolved into more of a climate perspective with the ocean drilling program.
Oh.
And then that evolved into another program, the International Ocean Drilling Program. But then drilling didn't sound like a good thing, so that became the International Ocean Discovery Program. And all through the time, their main strands, you know, anything from microbiology, understanding extraterrestrial sorts of planets, life on that potential, you know, climate and tectonics. And it's at a really important juncture right now. Because the present contractor with NSF is kind of coming to an end. And to move forward, they really need a new ship. And a new ship for drilling is not cheap. And so, I mean, we're at an important, you know, point where we need to know more about the climate, but at the same time, we're going to have to invest some time and effort and resources into doing
find the balance.
Yeah,
do it.
I wish that we could get some of these billionaires money to work on these issues.
Taylor, this question is directed towards you. Somebody would like to know, how do you spell the doctor's name?
Oh, here, let's see.
Maybe if you can pop it in the chat, I don't know.
Yeah, I can put it in the chat.
Oh, great. And then Aloha Louis CK, thank you for your trivia question. He is asking how we are all doing. I'm doing great. I'm not seasick anymore, which is awesome. His question is, the Pacific Ocean has twice the volume of the Atlantic Ocean and spans how many degrees of latitude from the Bering Sea along the Arctic Circle to the beaches of the Antarctic? He gave us the answer. I can cheat. So 135 degrees of latitude, or 9,631 miles. Thank you, Luis.
And I put the name in the science chat if you,
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, is Louis C.K., is that a pseudonym based on the comedian, or?
Might be him.
Sure.
Or is that him? Because he spells his last name S-E-E-K-A-Y, I believe.
Oh.
So instead of C.K.
He's a really sharp guy, and you know.
Yeah.
That could be him.
Trivia. Yeah, and just kind of having a look at who's with us now. It's really awesome to see who's joining us from around the world. Aloha, Australia. We've got Romania in the house, United Kingdom and Portugal, Netherlands, Belgium, Czech Republic, Russian Federation, Norway.
It looks like we have
Canada.
Some West Coasters waking up to us too.
Oh, aloha West Coasters. I see some Hawaii in the house and some Alaska, Californians.
Hello, friends in California.
Aloha, friends in California.
Shout out
Everywhere.
to Alaska.
We got some Alaska, yeah. We got Alaska up
Waking
there.
up in California. That's
Oh,
like 3 hours ahead.
Yeah.
What kind of Sunday?
It's a
What kind of Saturday did I
Sunday
have?
barbecue,
Is
right?
it a Sunday? What day is it?
Sunday.
That must have been a really fun Saturday, I guess.
For real.
It's ice cream day. Not one.
Sunday brunch with the
Ice
Nautilus.
cream.
I love ice cream.
Ice cream is good. Has anybody ever made ice cream?
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally.
For real?
Yeah.
You guys did?
Yeah,
I did
with
in
a coffee
preschool.
can.
I made a cinnamon
Preschool,
ice
yeah.
cream.
I
We
did
like
too. I
shook
made
it in a
like
bag with ice
yeah.
cubes and salt.
So
For
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't, that's crazy.
Like
that I
days of
remember
old.
that.
Big barrel. And
I
then I
used-
had to have a musher. That's funny that we all learned how to make ice cream.
I used to like make butterbeer, and then I would make ice cream to go in the butterbeer. You know,
What is butterbeer?
it's from Harry Potter.
It's
It's a wizarding drink.
it's basically like a very it's more butterscotch cream soda.
Yeah,
Ooh.
It's
I used
butterscotch. Yeah.
it's not actually. It's not.
It's
actually
not,
beer.
but it's like kind of
It's soda. It's soda. Yeah.
something like that.
Yep. Our labs had access to liquid nitrogen, so that made it easy.
Oh.
Oh.
So it's fun. You can make
yeah.
the butterbeer really good.
I have made ice cream with liquid nitrogen.
I really like butterscotch candy.
Well, all this ice cream talking
Right?
torturing me because today is
I
ice
prefer-
cream day, right?
It's ice cream day today,
Ice cream
huh?
Oh, is
today,
it?
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
Thursday.
Ice cream
Do they
Sunday.
make their own ice cream?
Oh.
No.
Aw.
That's a lot of work.
That'd be
Yeah,
that'd be
that's-
asking a lot
That
from
would
them.
be
They don't
awesome.
have
that
the
is-
freezer space.
I'm not
How
gonna be
long
opposed
does
to
it
it though.
take?
But it is
Probably-
asking a lot.
It's probably good therapy, you know. It's like washing dishes. You just pound on the ice cream. And so some beautiful languages that we have in the house today. We have Norwegian, Dutch, Slovak, Romanian, Portuguese.
Nazdar, Slovensko.
Oh.
Ja pozdravujem všetci ľudí zo Slovenska, čo nám počúvajú. Tiež všetci.
Wonderful.
Nazdravím všetci.
Right,
Just saying hi to Czech Republic and to Slovakia.
Beautiful. We also have some French and German and of course English. Wonderful. I love the diversity. Oh, aloha from Corvallis. Oh, aloha
Aw.
from Norway. Oh, and the person said, can't see the science chat.
Oh yeah, I can spell the name. Dr. Aradhna, so Aradhna, and her last name is Tripati, Tripati, and she's researching at UCLA.
Cool. I'd like to follow all of her. So we have just a comment, not a question, but the work you guys do for the environment I find is really cool. Keep going with what you are doing and have fun, right? You gotta smile through the adventure. Oh, Corvallis, you guys got ocean over there in Corvallis, right?
Coast of Oregon.
Right?
Oh yeah. Huh. My sister went to college around
And
there.
they have really good saltwater taffy in Corvallis.
Oh, that's what I hear. Yeah.
Aloha from Namibia. Namibia, is that Liz? Liz, is that you, Liz? Aloha, Namibia.
You might just get to the bottom.
Yeah,
by
we're
the
at the
time.
bottom and set it all up
Well,
and
that's
hand it on over.
Just in time for lunch.
That's the way it goes.
And she said, thank you for the spelling.
Is
Oh,
What's up,
I
planning
would
for a
love to
16
learn
hour?
Norwegian. So we got a question, does
Yeah.
anybody speak Norwegian? Did I understand that right? No, I would love to speak Norwegian because 2 of my children are half Norwegian. And for me, I feel it's important for us to learn all of the languages of every mix that we come into. Do you speak Norwegian, Yvonne?
Oh no, none of the languages on that peninsula. No.
Okay.
I wish.
Yeah, right? And they were a voyaging community too, yeah?
Yeah.
Talking about ice cream on previous cruise, there's no ice cream on the ship. So Kylie and Jess made ice cream for Dan's birthday.
Aww.
Oh, what
Hopefully
kind
we
of
have
ice cream?
Hopefully we're not all getting excited to not get ice cream.
Yeah.
Like, hey, easy, we got ice
Kinda
cream,
last
right?
Oh, we did?
Oh, no, there's
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
We-
yeah,
but if,
I brought
apparently
it.
we could
Missed
make
it.
it. I got salt.
we all packed it in there.
I saw it. I walked it over to the fridge.
Okay, we're good then.
Michael made sure.
We were
feel like-
doing frozen yogurt in the freezer downstairs.
Mm.
Taking the little cups of yogurt and freezing them.
It's a good
That was
That
my
was
next
our-
question. Is
That was our
frozen yogurt.
substitute ice cream.
There you go. That's a good substitute.
You know, that with the cookies that kept getting put out at 3 o'clock.
Oh,
it's
the
good-
cookies
good,
are
good
so
times.
delicious.
Mhm.
feel like we can't talk about ice cream so early in the day before it comes out, because now it's all I'm going to think about.
Something to look forward to.
It's almost lunchtime.
Gotta pack in one more meal before the next one.
All right, so we are currently at 1,613 meters, cruising at about 26 meters per minute, and we've got about 25 minutes before we reach the bottom. So we're getting there. Oh, we got a question.
Oh.
And I think this is posed for anyone who would like to share. But what is your favorite deep sea sighting? I think for me, I think it's all been super rad to check out. But what I've been noticing, favorite. Do I have a favorite? I'm not sure if I have a favorite.
I do.
Ooh, you go, girl. Taylor.
From my first intern year, it was the very, very last dive of the season. And we saw a really hard return on the sonar. And we're like, oh, let's go look at that rock. And we went over there, and it was actually a whale fall, which is something extremely rare to find in the deep sea.
Wow.
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah, it was a beautiful, beautiful whale fall. And I actually got a tattoo of it.
Is that what's on your arm?
It's on my leg, yeah.
Oh, you didn't show me that one.
Yeah.
Okay, because somebody said that was what they would dream to see is a whale fall.
Yeah,
And I thought it was literally a whale falling through the ocean. Is that what it is?
Well, yeah, it falls from, when it dies, it falls down to the bottom, and then it's a huge food source for all the deep sea creatures. So it's like
and you get all the hagfish
massive
coming in
feast.
and everybody's grinding.
It was beautiful
there
to
was
see.
all the octopus that were coming around.
Yeah, there were a lot of
What
creatures
imagery.
hanging out around the whale fall. And then we got to return to it a year later and see how much it broke down, and it was amazing to see. Like, it went from a full skeleton to like little bits and pieces of bone that were still attached, and you can tell it was a whale still, but it really got broken down in that year.
Yeah, 4 days ago, there was an image that went viral of a lion seal covered in sea stars and of 7 different colors. It's a spectacular image. Yeah.
Ooh.
Just about 4 days ago, yeah.
That's your favorite site? That's pretty. I like that.
Awesome. Yeah, I really like that imagery with the sea stars and the corals together. So we have a question from the Netherlands. Besides your dives, I'm also watching the current expedition by Canadian Fisheries, ONC Pelagic of Haida Gwaii, and they're encountering high biodiversity and almost anoxic surroundings at around 2,800 meter depths. Is that the case where you are? Best Willem. I might pass that to you, Liz. I think you may be the best. Or Rob.
It is relatively low oxygen, but it's definitely not anoxic. There is still oxygen down there, lower than what you would get at surface waters. But currently right now, for example, we're at 1,690 meters, and the oxygen saturation is only at like 19%.
Are you planning on holding position once we get to the waypoint?
So not fully anoxic.
No, it's
Can
not
you hold
anoxic,
position when we get to
but
the waypoint?
it is relatively low.
Thank you.
Right.
Messing with you.
And we have some shipmates that are out on that.
I saw him. I was like, I know he's going to do it.
Oh, really?
Expedition with that group.
With the cruise. Awesome. Thank you, Willem. And then I do have an open question to anyone who would like to answer. What is your deep sea, open question to anyone, what's your dream deep sea sighting?
As always, Dumbo.
I know Michael's is a kraken.
One day.
What is it? What was it? A kraken?
One day, find the kraken.
Yeah.
Find the kraken. I'm going to look it up now.
I mean, I would love to see a whale fall, so that would be great.
Or
Especially
like an
a
encounter with a
natural one.
whale.
How do you spell kraken?
K.
Oh, there it is.
Okay.
You spelled it like...
You'll find it's a hockey team.
Yeah,
in
you'll find. I was
Seattle.
gonna say you can just find it's the
It's
Seattle
spiced
hockey
rum
team.
as well.
It's spiced rum.
Big hockey game tonight.
Go back.
Oh, it's almost. Oh, it's
Yeah,
on
the
now.
season
Oh,
might
no,
end
it's not
today.
on. Couple more hours.
Yeah, right there.
So is a kraken an octopus?
It's like a big sea creature usually. It's usually like some type of cephalopod.
Squid.
Yeah.
Okay, because when I Google it, it only shows me rum.
I mean,
Yeah,
that'd,
there's
be
that too.
that'd be interesting too. Just a giant thing of rum just swimming by for some reason.
Doesn't say much for your search history.
You know, so
Okay, I think
you know, I'm sorry.
I
I'm
think
sure
Rob's
sea
got the
creatures like to
Kraken.
party too.
we did all watch Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, I would like to
Or
see
giant
that too.
squid. Giant squids would be cool.
Giant squids
That's
are
as
cool.
close as you can get, I guess.
Yeah.
I saw
Yes.
Humboldt once when we were in the off the
What?
coast of Vancouver. Yeah. with
You
the ROV.
did?
Yep.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was crazy. Real quick.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I like
That's
that one.
cool.
I'd love to see a Greenland shark or a sleeper shark.
I just want to see a shark as well. That'd be so cool.
Well, I saw a sleeper shark with Herc.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
So cool.
I've seen sleeper sharks, hammerheads, six gills.
Nice.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I go swimming with sharks up on the North Shore.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I
Martha,
did in
You can swim with
in
six gills
Pihemanu.
up in right near where I live,
Oh
in
gosh.
Vancouver Island. Yeah. In the summer
Yeah,
months.
Salish Sea is one of the few places where they come up shallow
Yeah,
enough
Flores
to
Island off of
Yeah.
Hornby. Yeah, I live right across from there. Yeah.
We have a hammerhead nursery, puppery or nursery right there at Wailuku River coming into Hilo Bay.
Oh.
So
Hammerhead was so
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
We actually
Hang
didn't see it in
right
Herc.
there.
We saw it in Argus. It went right over top of Herc. I
Wow.
didn't see it in Herc's vehicle, but you could see it go right over top. It was amazing.
Eagle eye view.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
So there's a comment here from Willem again from the Netherlands, and he says, when I hear you guys talking Kraken, I always think of what famous Herc pilot Robert Bob said, the Kraken is lurking just beyond the reach of our lights.
Yeah.
that,
I wonder if he's thinking that when he's going to go down in Elvin next.
And then we just have another comment. So it's, aloha from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, from a fellow ocean advocate. Thank you for sharing all of your stories and personal experiences. Awesome, guy. Everyone, thank you. All right, I'm hearing Kraken jokes coming up in my head right now. I'm like, slow down.
I got a couple of them too.
Right.
I'd like to see an aquatic form of Sasquatch.
Oh, that would be. Oh my gosh. Okay, so remember the creature from the Black Lagoon?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Goodness.
That was when I was a kid. I just remember the creature from the Black Lagoon. I totally identified with the creature from the Black Lagoon. I don't know. I was like, I want to be that. Like,
I don't know.
have you seen that creature from the Black Lagoon? It came out like in the 50s, right, or 60s?
It's older than that.
It was
only
a
have I
black and
seen it.
white. It was just all
Yeah.
black and white.
Yeah, I've been to the spring where the movie was filmed in Wakulla Springs in Florida.
Oh,
Pretty
really?
sweet place, actually.
Yeah, I always wondered how the creature came out of the water and then, yeah. It was such a sweet story.
I don't know if I would want to see that. The implications alone.
But he was really nice.
If there's one, there's more.
I'd love to see an oarfish. There's some theories that that's where like sea serpent myths came from. They're these really long, thin fish that they actually, if you see them in the water, mid-water where they live, they hang looking up, like vertical.
Oh, right.
They're pretty spooky, but they're really cool.
Right, and you're explaining that behavior.
Yeah, and then
It's
sometimes they come
purposeful.
up to the surface when they're dying. We don't really know why. And they go along the surface of the water as like a long, like 20-foot long serpent-looking thing. And so
Wow.
some thoughts that people saw that and thought it was a sea monster.
Yeah, I would love to see one of those as
What
well.
were you going to say? Yeah, Taylor.
I get
People
it.
might know the oarfish from Animal Crossing if you if you play that game.
What is it?
It's the oarfish that Liz was talking about. Yeah, a lot of
It's in the
people
game?
might know it from a game
Yeah,
called
not
Animal
quite
Crossing.
to scale in the
No,
game.
it's very massive. Well, you should Google pictures of it
Yeah.
with people holding ones
There's
that
a
have.
related one called King of the Salmon. It's not a salmon,
Oh,
but it's
for real?
related to the oarfish.
Oh.
Wow.
So we do have a question coming in the chat here, and I'm going to give you an update. So right now we are currently at 1,845 meters, and our goal is to reach a 22,298. So we're going to It's going to be about 18 more minutes before we reach the bottom.
Yeah, maybe we can find a creature from the Johnston Atoll.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe that's how the creature from the Black Lagoon was created. I do have a question for our pilots whenever you're ready.
Sure.
Okay. I was wondering, is Herc hardwired to the ship for controls and video feeds?
Yeah, sure is. Yep. So
That could be, yeah, for... Go ahead.
yeah, we use fiber optic communication for all the communication and video. And then we just have copper conductors through a long cable that go down from the ship and provide power. So it's the connection wiring is pretty straightforward, but then it all kind of breaks out from there and gets a little more complicated at each end. But yeah, we're hardwired to the ship.
Awesome. Thank you, Josh.
Yeah.
So do you think a Johnston Atoll monster would be a part yellow crazy ant?
It would be a hybrid. Crazy ant creature from Johnston's.
Yeah, well, now I'm going to have nightmares about that tonight.
Oh my gosh, I had...
Yeah, we all have nightmares in this
You
boat
planted
with
the seed
yeah,
because
it's
I
true.
was like following a fanny pack in my dreams last night and it kept changing colors and I'm like, why is this fanny pack here? Why is it over here? And I was
what did
like,
you
what are
eat
you
for
doing
dinner?
in my dream?
What does that mean?
What kind of
Does anyone
mushrooms
interpret
they cook?
dreams?
It
Not
went
going
from
there.
like a turquoise blue to a green and then a polka dotted yellow. And I'm like,
Was it just like floating?
no, it would be everywhere. Like I was
I
on the
think you
ship
should.
and the fanny pack would pop up on the table and then it was like in the van. It was like, and I'm like, what is this doing? And I kept thinking, what is the meaning of a fanny pack in a dream?
We should have an episode every morning watch. What's Hoku's dream mean?
Dream hour with Hoku.
It's either dream hour or what does Hoku want for lunch?
Yeah.
Right. Oh, cheese. Cheese, don't get me started on the cheese tour. Where's Lynette? She started it. I'm going to have mozzarella cheese and then some Swiss cheese. I like my
Variety of
Parmesan
cheeses.
cheese, sliced Parmesan cheese.
What's your favorite
grated
cheese,
Parmesan
Hoku?
cheese.
Ooh.
I don't know. It
All of
depends
them.
on my mood.
Mm.
But you know what I've been really digging lately is shaved Parmesan because it's like chips. You can just eat it like
Yum.
as chips.
That's a good snack, yeah.
It is.
I have a question for
I
you.
am lactose intolerant.
Sorry.
So, yep. Some days, you just got to choose to
Power.
enjoy yourself a little.
I'll be in the next room, thank you.
So it's been 7 days since we left. What's one thing that you wish you had brought with you, that you wish you had? It's like, oh, I wish
My
I
hair
had brought
conditioner?
this one
My
thing.
cat.
More candy.
I wish I had my cat with me.
A second pair of underwear.
Oh, my.
Check, please.
That explains a lot.
Unmuted.
Dark chocolate for me, definitely dark chocolate. Yeah.
Force mute.
Force mute. No, not.
I could hook you up, Yvonne.
Oh.
Oh, yes, I'm going to take you on
Yeah,
that.
Rob.
Just wait,
Alright.
wait till about the end of the second week. This whole front row is just gonna start getting coated in chocolates and chocolate-covered espresso beans and things just to get you through.
Do we
Oh
have
my
chocolate
gosh.
covered espresso beans?
Well, maybe. Definitely my hair
They
conditioner.
don't come out right away. You
know what?
gotta
That's
earn
what I
those
wish I
things.
They're
brought.
dangerous.
Where's
I
your hair
love those.
conditioner? Emma?
What?
You wish you brought your hair conditioner
Oh,
too?
no.
Oh.
I'm talking about the chocolate covered espresso
I think
beans.
they're here. I hope I didn't lie. Maybe I lied.
That'd be sad.
There's something. Believe me, there'll be something.
Yes.
I did bring hair conditioner though, don't worry.
Dark chocolate peanut M&Ms. Safeway did not have them. I was bummed.
All right, so we do have some more questions coming into the chat here. For our pilots, is Argus okay? Is there a specific reason why you are using Atalanta? I think you might have touched on this a bit, Josh, but
Yeah, Argus is fine. Yep, we're using Atalanta just mainly because it's a bit lighter. And that just helps us get down deeper and keep our armored umbilical in better condition. So it then helps us to, if the weather gets a little bigger, it kind of opens up our operational window for diving deep.
okay.
Yeah.
And then thank you, Josh. I have another question for you, which my assumption the answer will be no. But do you ever use bait to attract animals to the ROV?
I haven't personally, no. But I'm sure it's been done.
Oh,
I think
okay.
we use it. There's baited cameras and baited other things that
like
people
to
put
find
down
the
on the
sharks
seafloor
and
to
stuff.
bring so they can see things and stuff. But yeah, I haven't put anything on the ROV specifically, no.
Oh, okay.
I would think that sometimes, like after getting some samples and like things that get caught and into the thing, it just sort of happens.
It might just happen.
Oh, like during the ascent yesterday, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of blender action there.
Little bit of blender action. And then another question here is, have you folks gone down to the Mariana Trench, which I think you guys have brought this up before, right?
I don't think so. I haven't personally, no.
Okay.
Taylor Ann,
were you talking about the Mariana Trench?
I don't remember. I might have been. I've never been there, but I know that there has been plastic found that deep, so that's something I might have mentioned.
Maybe that was what it was.
Yeah.
I know it came up in conversation.
This ROV, I don't believe is rated to go down that deep.
How deep is the Mariana Trench?
Not many are.
The deepest it's about 13,000 meters, I think, so like 13 kilometers. I don't know what that is in miles. I'm very bad at that conversion.
Isn't it deeper than Everest?
Deeper than Everest is
tall. If you like flipped Everest over, it would actually fit pretty closely into the Mariana Trench.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, it's a
interesting
decent match.
See, then I always think about that with Mauna Kea and our you know, like if you flip Mauna Kea over, would it be like equal the depth of our oceans in Hawaii? You know, like that's an interesting thought.
Hey Liz, if you could be dropped off for 2 minutes at the very top of Everest, or be brought down to the very bottom of the Mariana Trench for 2 minutes to see everything around it, which one would you prefer?
Oh, absolutely the trench.
I go to the top of Everest.
There's not much on Everest.
I know what's at the bottom of that trench. It's mud.
Yeah.
It's a big giant hole. I mean, what else is there?
But there's animals down there.
The Kraken is down there.
Oh, right. Well, no.
Come on, Josh.
Top of Everest for me too.
I've seen a lot of mud.
Now, have you gone up to Mount Everest?
Oh, I wish. That's a dream.
A
dream ascent for me. Yeah.
That
really
is a
deep,
challenge. Have you seen the movie Everest?
Oh yeah.
Not
boy.
exciting.
Everything Everest.
So I have a size of a comparison that people might be able to understand. So the distance between the surface of the ocean and the trench's deepest point, the Challenger Deep, which lies about 200 miles southwest of the U.S. territory of Guam, is nearly 7 miles.
Okay.
So it's 7 miles long, deep.
Deep. What was that?
Or 11 kilometers.
Yeah, 11
Unreal. And Josh, you were saying that the ROVs that you folks have used usually can reach a max depth of 9,000. Am I correct? 7,000 to 9,000? Is that right?
Hercules is 4,000 meter rated.
Oh.
And Atalanta can actually go to 6,000 meters.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But Herc's only been down to 4,000 meter-ish kind of range, but only a few times.
Oh, okay. So we have a cruise and dive question. How long is a cruise and how many dives are planned? So we are out here for what, about 21 days? 23 weeks?
Yeah, 3 weeks. That's 3 more weeks. Right?
And then we have, what did we plan, about 13 dives? 13 dives?
Yeah, I think there's 13 or 14 dives planned.
And this is our 4th one that we're on?
Non-stop.
Yes.
Yes. Awesome. So yeah. I'm going to pass this maybe to Dave, this question. You may be the best to answer it.
Pay attention here.
What powers all of the technology on the boat, and how are the ROVs powered for so long? That can be either ROV or Dave, whichever.
I don't know. You flip the switch, it all comes on.
Generators.
The ship has generators.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Has multiple generators for backup and redundancy. There are, what, 3 generators, Josh?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, 3 generators, any one of which is running at any one time.
Wow.
And so that power is distributed throughout the ship, that kind of stuff. ROV power is a separate deal. It comes off the generator, but it has its own power distribution system, which Josh could talk about more than I.
Awesome. Thank you, Dave.
That was your cue, Josh.
Oh, am I supposed to chime in? Oh, okay, yeah. So, yeah, that's right. So the generators feed, we use an inverter, big inverter, to supply 480 volt AC to our transformer, a big transformer, which transports the 480 into 2400 volt 3-phase power that gets sent down to Hercules. It runs its electric motor, which runs a hydraulic pump. And then we pull a leg off that 3-phase power to run 110 AC into our electronics bottle on both Atalanta and Herc. And then from there, inside the electronics bottle, we'll change the power to kind of whatever flavor we need, either AC, which is all our lighting, and then DC in a variety of like 24, 12 volts, 5 volts, whatever we kind of need in the switching and stuff in there. And then that'll run all the other instruments and cameras and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's
awesome. You said AC/DC.
good. We are monitoring our AC and DC all the time.
I love it. I never knew what AC/DC meant. I just really liked the band. And then I figured it out. It was related to batteries, right? Is that what it is?
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if they picked it up from because the logo. I remember seeing it on a old arc welder, and it would have AC/DC, and it literally it's the so one of them has to be a welder, or did welding, because it's exactly this, almost exactly the same with some stylistic differences, but it. On the arc welder was AC lightning bolt DC.
Oh, rad.
Type welder. So
awesome.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's where they kind of got it from.
That'd be cool. I have an AC/DC dollar.
$1?
Yeah, I went
AC/DC
to
bucks.
An AC/DC dollar. I went to an AC/DC show and they like flew out AC/DC dollars to the crowd.
Oh man.
So I saved one. I think it has. What is his name? The guitarist?
Angus, yeah.
Yeah. He's in place of George Washington. Okay, we've got some other questions coming in. If you could all fit in a manned vehicle, would you like to go down to the bottom here so you can see it direct instead of via the ROV?
Like all together?
Oh boy. I just went to Yellow Submarine, okay?
ROV.
I don't know. Like, I don't know if I'd, like, 'cause that seems kind of cramped.
As long as I could pilot it.
I would definitely go down, yeah.
So long as nobody farts.
I would love to go down in the Alvin.
Depends on if it has a bathroom.
Wait, it doesn't, does it?
No.
No.
Yeah.
But if this other manned vehicle
It does, you just
What
not
does it
in the
have?
traditional sense.
Yeah. Not a comfortable bathroom.
And then another. Oh, somebody wanted to know if any of us have listened to the podcast story, Last Known Position. It's about a team of experts exploring the sea for a lost aircraft. I have not personally.
Nope.
Sounds interesting.
What's it called?
Last Known Position. Interesting. All right, somebody else asked a question. And then here we have another question for either the pilots or the Dave. Do you use special cameras or lights to see animal bioluminescence in the deep sea?
Not currently on the vehicle, but we have worked with really low light cameras in the past for different science groups to study bioluminescence, but we don't run with them as a standard on the vehicle.
Okay.
Yeah.
We do just the opposite. We add as much more light as we can.
Yeah, exactly.
Ah.
It's very dark down there.
Yeah, we did that.
Just starting to get, I got 3 beams. There you go. Almost 4 beams on the Doppler.
All right, so we are about 4 minutes out of reaching the bottom, so this is very exciting. We look forward to what we're going to find. We are currently at a depth of 2,191
100
meters.
to go. I'll stop at 50.
Okay.
And then we'll get set up.
And in regards to the question, are you on a ship or on land? We
Which
are
way are you
currently
going?
on a ship.
Oh, to waypoint 2?
We're, yes,
Okay, that way. Roger.
about like 250 probably.
You lost Herc
Can
again. You lost him. Find him, quick. I don't know where I am.
Where'd it go? Quick, recover. Oh, okay. Whew.
Still yellow. So I'm gonna guess since we're going that way, I'll come around and
Okay.
go that direction.
should I reset source now? To you? Or should I start?
We'll still be a little bit before we get all the way down there.
Yeah.
Okay, the unmuted thing is real.
I heard that, Hoku.
You did, right?
Busted.
Busted.
Oh, cool. Oh my gosh. Okay, pilots. We got a really cool question. My 10-year-old grandson is very interested in becoming an ROV pilot. What game and or toy would you recommend to enhance both skills and knowledge? Rubik's Cube?
That is a smart kid.
Yeah,
he's
you should
he's
get his
on a
hands on a
bench.
little baby ROV.
Yeah, they got
Yeah, they
He
have.
could build his own.
yeah, little
they're
baby
just
ROVs. They have
Rubble, sir.
they have little arms you can kind of
Yep.
so you can start learning how to
Totally.
manipulate.
A robotic arm kit
Yeah, robotic arc
Oh,
kit with
right, or
pneumatic
even
arms.
just
Yeah, they're pretty
robotics.
cool.
would be a really good,
Yeah.
really good choice.
Yeah, we got a really nice
Zero and Z bias, how to stick
ROV
clock.
that was small, affordable, and then easy
come
for
also?
our
Yeah,
students
come
to
also on the winch.
use in different environments. So
I'll,
yeah,
I'll go
there's a
down
lot of
little
good
bit,
stuff
and
out
then
there.
I'll come back around. And
Thank you for the
kinda
question.
Go over this
I'll
way.
I'll leave my thrusters off for now, or so you can swing me around.
Yeah, you could take on auto head if you want, and then once I get over kind of here, you could turn face.
All right.
What were those like Connects toys?
Oh yeah, I remember
Yeah.
Connects. Connects.
I used to play with those when I was a kid, and you can like build stuff with those. Some of them come with little engines.
Yeah, they're much better than Legos. Well, for that
Yeah.
kind of purpose, yeah.
Yeah, for like engineering stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Amazon has some really cool robotic arms.
I've ordered 3 already.
Oh wow! Right now, you just ordered 3.
Not that I want to become a pilot, but it's fun.
It's fun.
It'd be fun to like torment the cat.
Stop! Don't tell.
No, I mean it's like sampling. I meant
It's-
sampling.
Sample of the cat?
My poor cat. My cat would not be happy.
Yeah, remind me not to let any of my pets near
Yeah,
you.
no.
Girl.
You're not going to be cat sitting.
People let me pet sit too.
You could
Well,
mount
now
it
they
on
won't.
you could mount it on a Roomba and have it drive around and sample the cat.
Oh my god, I
We
love
lost
that
the ring
idea.
again. Okay, you can try and turn a little bit. Actually, I guess I gotta come over.
Oh, just program it to pet the cat.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be nice if you could.
Yeah, when you're
Oh
not
my
home.
gosh, that just made me
Yeah.
think of a
Oh, let's see if
wait,
I
no,
can.
it's not Bill Clinton, it's George Clinton in the Funkadelics.
Oh yes.
Yeah, chase the cat.
Dog
That
catcher.
song. Is that the dog
I don't
catcher?
know. But again, we could use Josh's technique of for
Nope.
scooping the cat litter box.
Does anybody try to have their cat go on the, anyways?
To what?
I'm not taking credit for that technique.
I'm not gonna ask, I'm not gonna ask the question. It's gonna go down a rabbit hole of cat doo-doo.
Spears. So that's interesting.
So
Cool.
somebody said that we can join a first Lego League team.
Yeah,
I love
why don't you
Legos.
turn and find me a little bit
Does
there?
anybody
there I am.
remember
Yeah.
Tinker Toys?
Yeah.
And
Right.
you're
I
right
had the
below me
hugest
because I'm
Tinker
facing
Toys,
straight
and I
down.
used to make cars all
Okay.
the time. And I would dream that they were Porsches. And I was driving to the supermarket in my Porsche.
Hey, why don't you
Sorry.
turn your head,
There's
kind of
the
put on my
seafloor.
head there.
Yeah, my Porsche was a rock.
Right. I had a small trunk.
Yeah, what can
It
you
was just
fit?
a frame of a Porsche, you know, no, like, it's just, and I would always put it in front of the TV so I could watch TV. Oh, I miss my grandparents. Oh, awesome, Grandma. Oh, thank you for answering my question. You have given me some great ideas for his birthday. Oh, how sweet. I love it.
Yeah. I see
Good.
rock.
Yep.
There you go down a
Who
little
is
bit.
Dr. Oct?
Yeah.
There you go down.
All right. So we have, I think, so we're nearing the bottom of the
It's right
seafloor.
there. You can see
Hey, hey, look at that! How exciting! We have reached the bottom of the ocean. Beautiful. I really like the shots from Atlantis when we see Hercules. That overview of Hercules and what Hercules is seeing.
So it looks like some low bait flows here.
Yeah.
Hardly any sediments at all.
You're already seeing a lot of sponges
Interesting.
and corals.
Really? You have great eyes, Liz. I swear. Where do you see that?
There's some on the corner.
Oh, off to the right?
Yeah,
There's
not
a
to the
coral
left.
there.
Oh, off to the
there,
left.
there.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't see any of those. No.
Wow. And now, Rob, you said this actual seamount is going to take on a different type of formation than the ones that we have been seeing, right?
Well, it's a little different shaped. It's not your classic, more conical seamount. It has some different shapes to it. And I think it looks like a fault or something that runs right through the middle of it.
Right, because I feel like this is the first time that we've seen really low bait formations as opposed to the pillows.
No, we've seen a lot of these already.
Oh, we have been seeing a lot of the low baits too?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Nice. Neat. So we're currently at a depth of 2,260 meters. And let's see here, some interesting facts about this area. We have a salinity level of 34.6 parts per thousand, or PSUs. Our oxygen concentration is about 19.5%. And the temperature at this depth is 1.94 degrees Celsius. O2 concentrations are about 84.16 micromoles per liter.
Yep.
Interesting. Awesome.
Yep.
So we have seen a decline in temp, a decline in O2 concentrations, but I have been noticing that our salinity levels have been pretty stable, pretty consistent.
Yeah, those don't vary a whole lot.
Interesting. And does that, like we were talking about the pycnocline and thermocline and halocline, so when we reach that pycno, it would stay pretty consistent.
All right, black balance
down the water
first, going to black on her.
Roger.
Cool.
I said going to black.
Right.
Just check all the gauges and stuff too.
Oh,
I was
what
kind of
is
like
that?
do a gauge check as soon as we get down to the seafloor.
There you go.
Aloha, India. Thank you for joining us. Aloha, Belgium. How's it, Norway? Cool. Namibia. Ooh, we got the Czech Republic joined us. Nice. So awesome. What's our languages here? Any new languages came in? We got Romanian, English, Norwegian. Nice. Beautiful. So there is a LEGO instruction manual in the nautiluslive.org. Educational resources, by the way. Somebody has, Willem, aloha Willem. And you are from, I think you were from.
Okay, good to go.
Okay.
Thank you. Nice to know that we've got some LEGO instructions in there. But Willem has been building a large Technic Lego version of an ROV for a while, but it needs to be more functional before I show it. You need to show it when it's done, okay? Post it on our Instagram.
And take in progress videos.
Up.
and
Michael would like to
snapshots.
see some in progress videos. Who's Spider-Man? Oh, best video game you ever played. You folks
ROVs.
do awesome work. ROV. My favorite was Donkey Kong, okay? I'm still sticking with Donkey Kong. Before it
Yes.
even became Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
Donkey Kong.
Or OG.
The OG. At the arcade where you could buy pizza.
And go around and
It would be
dodging barrels.
cool to have an ocean deep sea exploration video game.
Yeah.
That would be
That would
really
be
awesome.
cool,
Who wants to work on
right?
that? Let's do
Yeah,
it.
right.
I'll play it. Anybody want to contribute to the best video game you've ever played? If my kids were here, they would have all kinds of answers.
Oh man, there's so many good video games now. I
Really?
can't. Yeah, it's hard to tell.
I play Stardew Valley. That's the main one I play.
My twin likes that.
My favorite right now is the Ghost of Tsushima, which is a PlayStation
Oh,
5 video
yeah,
game. It's
yeah.
very, very beautiful. Yeah, very beautiful graphics on that system.
So we have a shout out listening from Seattle. Hi, Liz.
Hey.
Can I reset this now?
You can, yeah.
So what do you want to do for 10 minutes?
Ooh, Marble Madness.
Sample.
Okay. Yeah, if we go along and find a decent rock.
Yeah, it's so easy to entice the
Spider-Man is a
geologists,
video
isn't it?
game?
Oh, you want a rock
You're so
sample? Yeah,
consistent.
absolutely. I want a rock sample.
Yeah, Rob's pretty easy to please.
Yep.
Yep. I know what rock wants.
Oh, look, rocks.
Hey. No way.
I'm doing it for Kevin. It's not a
It's
selfish
just a
thing.
candy store down here. You know?
How were the rocks yesterday? Did
They look really good. He
Yeah.
seems real happy about them.
Oh, nice.
So we haven't cut them open.
Oh,
He
wow,
may be cutting
yeah.
them open now.
Gotta find room for all these rocks.
Interesting little
Stardew
feature
is my jam.
landed right on here.
Yeah.
Is that a primnoid? Primnoid?
Primnoid?
I see a
Maybe.
skeleton of a coral.
Somebody's
Oh,
playing
back
Lord of
there.
the Rings right
Yeah,
now
I didn't see
online while
that
they're
one.
watching us. That's multitasking, I must say.
Just
I don't know
come
how you
down
can
just a
play a
little
video
bit
game and
farther.
watch TV at the
It's
same
coming
time.
down.
It's hard.
Just came right down top of this little mound. Yeah, we'll zoom in, please.
All right,
Looks like
so
a primnoid with
oh,
some,
pretty.
ophiurites.
Taylor, I've got a question for you when you're ready.
Sure.
What's the bag of liquid they pour into the little cap in the lab, and what kind of test is being performed?
Yeah, so that is Niskin water that we've collected for eDNA. So Meredith is filtering all of that water
Nice close-up.
to later use for analysis. But yeah, so it's pure water that's taken from, whatever depth we're at
It'll come
from the
wide.
Niskin that will shut wherever we are in the water column and collect that sample. So yeah, she's filtering that water. That's also the same methods that I use to filter my water for microplastics.
Nice, thank you, Taylor.
Do you know how to
Awesome, I want to come check that out.
enable the still cam?
Yeah, the first part of the
Is it not turned on?
Sorry.
It's on. I'm just setting it up
I
back
just,
here.
Oh,
I
sorry.
just don't know how to start
Okay.
it up, sorry.
the first part of this
So,
dive is going to be a
Are
little
we
steeper
going
than
to
the.
explore this area or
What are the
start moving?
credentials? Oh, I should need.
Oh, let's just poke around a little bit and
Okay,
then
sounds
see what I can see here.
So the person playing Lord of the Rings says it helps to have 3 monitors. The game is in the middle and, oh, we're both on both sides. Hey. Somebody else likes to play Galaga.
Galaga.
Isn't
Wow,
that
That's a really old one.
What movie did that come from? Big? Where he went to go play Galaga and then he turned, Tom Hanks became a kid again or something?
I have no idea.
Somebody also said that Beyond Blue is a game inspired and created after Blue Planet. It's an educational diving
Dead,
exploration game.
sponge.
Cool. Thank you for sharing.
I've actually heard of that game. Yeah, I should give that one a try.
Yeah.
What's it called?
It's a lot of dead sponges. See a few of them.
What was it
Oh.
called again, the blue one?
Beyond the Blue,
Beyond
right?
Blue.
Beyond
Blue.
Blue.
Beyond Blue. Yeah, it was created after Blue Planet 2.
Cool.
Anything here catching your eye, Rob?
Let me see. Yeah, there's an
All
anchor
pretty
one's probably
round.
too big. Yeah, they all look pretty round. You know, I mean, we're awfully close to the crossover. I almost want to let Kevin pick his.
Okay. Do you want it? Should we get the ship going towards waypoint 2 then?
Let's start looking at the stuff.
Sounds good.
Yes, it's full.
Yep.
Let's do it.
Bridge nav.
Okay.
Got another sponge graveyard.
Yeah. Well, that
My
means
goodness.
probably a steep slope up above us, so that's.
Stuff tumbles
Can we
down.
make a course of 250 at 0.2 knots?
We're seeming to see that more often as...
Thank you.
No. Never mind. I'm going to take that back. Rethink question.
250.
How far are we going?
Up the mountain.
It's about 3.7 kilometers all overall.
I don't know. A long way. Straight
Oh,
for
there's
16
another
hours.
game called
Yes.
Subnautica.
We'll never change direction or
Subnautica.
stop.
Bless you.
Hola. Okay, so we have an awesome comment that I would like to share before we end our watch. It's more of an appreciation post. You guys are awesome, and I really love seeing the exploration happening live. The ocean floor has always intrigued me, and I'm glad I found you guys so I can explore with you guys. I hope you all are having just as much fun with the research and dives
That one
as
looks a
I
little
have
different.
with them.
Yeah.
Thank you for instilling my endless curiosity. Love, Lily.
Zoom in,
Heart.
please.
Thank you, Lily. And I'll transition this question to our
a bamboo?
scientist.
Yeah, it is a
Yeah,
bamboo.
it's a bamboo.
Okay, good.
Oopsie.
And a little sponge maybe right next to it.
Somebody
Yeah.
wanted to know if that was a skeleton on the bottom of the ocean. So that was actually a sponge.
Yeah, a
If
sponge
somebody
skeleton.
would like to elaborate on that. I think
Yeah.
it was not living.
Yeah, it was a dead farried sponge, probably toppled over along with the rocky rubble.
Oh, pretty. Ooh, ooh.
Go, come wide,
Thank
please.
you. Looks like a little different terrain here. Has
Yeah, it's a little.
Yeah. What is that flat area right there, Rob?
it's a flat area.
You stop it.
Is it like a sink?
Is it
Exactly.
sand?
It's,
Something
it's probably a
collapsed?
collapse pit area.
That's it.
So as the lava was, erupting and going out, there's kind of a hard, crispy area on top, a crust. And then the lava kept going, and then nothing to support it, and probably collapsed down in.
That wouldn't be a nodule garden right in there, though, in that little sandy area.
I don't
huh?
know anymore. I don't know what's a nodule garden and what isn't.
That's pretty.
I asked Kevin to open up some of the ones that we saw, some of the ones we saw before.
What'd you find?
Well, we only did one, and it looked like a chunk of basalt
Right,
with
that's
a
what you're
rind
saying.
of
like-
manganese. But is that a nodule?
But I thought you found
This is where
another
you gotta
nodule
really be
that
careful
seemed
with the
Well,
pretty...
DVL.
we grabbed some others,
Like
but
you really
it's
want to
not
go
like the
down,
classic
but
where
now,
it's
like if I did, I'd hit
a
the
chunk
back
of
the ROV
something
against the rock
with
there.
a lot more.
Yeah.
So I'd have to
crust
like
on it.
scoot
Got
over.
it.
So
And I'm sort of at the end of my tether.
Yeah, I wanna
It's
come
kinda
down
weird.
and-
It's a weird
and look
area.
at your
You're
stuff.
higher. You're up on a cliff there. and
I
it's
don't have my
downhill,
hand
like,
lens,
to
but
me,
maybe
so we're kind of we landed
I don't
on
have
a
my
weird
hand
spot.
lens with me, but
Yeah, I was
maybe
noticing
Kevin
that
does to
going
look at
down. It's like there's a lot
I
of
love
high
hand
spots.
lenses.
You're on the higher spot now,
My
and I'm
loop.
actually on the lower area. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
So I can try and come around if I have enough tether to get a shot at
Oh,
this one. But
good night.
just gotta be careful.
Midnight in
not to hit the
Norway, so I
back
have
of
to
the
say good night.
ROV
Good
in
night.
the
Aloha,
rocks.
Norway. See you next time.
I believe it is.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry. Thank you. Was
Mm.
looking a little greener?
Yeah.
Was it looking a little green?
No, I think so too.
Was that just the light? Okay.
Was that on during
Got like a
the
little
balance?
colony up
Oh.
there.
I put it
Yeah.
on for the balance, yeah.
Is that a primnoid to get there?
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's good to kind of light up some stuff if you come in with a section cam, I find. It like lights up the
I feel
front
like
of
this is
whatever
more
you're
corals
looking
than
at.
we've seen at this depth.
Exactly.
Yeah, when you're just cruising and shit,
Like
I
usually when
usually
you
turn
first
it
start,
off.
it's mostly sponges.
Yeah.
And now we're seeing corals at
Especially since like there's more
almost
lights
2300.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a few
We will
questions.
zoom
Perhaps
in, please.
Liz and Rob, you might be able to address these. One is, do you have any idea about why there are so many dead sponges in this area?
Well, Rob was suggesting that it just might be that when they die, they tumble downhill and they collect in that area because there's a bit of a hill above there.
Oh.
That
Okay.
makes sense. Yeah.
That would make
But
sense.
I don't know. Oh, it looks like it's got like zoanthids or something on it.
On it?
Something.
And then maybe, Rob, you can address this one. Everything looks green. Do different places look like different colors, or are they all the same?
That's maybe something for Dave.
For Dave, maybe it's a lighting thing?
Yeah, so if you notice right now when we've got lots of light and in the foreground here, and this coral is kind of whitish, and sand on the rock is kind of
come light,
beigey,
please.
that kind of stuff. But then you
Another
notice in
bamboo, actually, I think
the
it is.
background how things
think I
start
saw
to
it
turn
in
blue and then green.
Yeah, bamboo.
Red light is the first light to be attenuated in water. So things tend, the further away from our lights that we look, the more blue and then the more greenish and then bluish it looks. So in the foreground here where you've got a pool of light,
We'll
things
zoom in
look,
again, please.
pretty much normal colors, and then as you go farther in the distance,
Thank you, Dave.
it's going to look blue.
Okay. So unmuted watch will officially now mute and transition to our next watch, which is our sea pickles, correct?
The
So we're switching to
pyrozones.
the sea pickle watch.
Rock and pyrozones.
Thank you for spending time with us and sharing all of your questions and stories. We're excited to see you tonight on our 8 o'clock watch.
Yeah.
Officially muted. Aloha malama pono ahuiho.
Hey, how are you? Sorry, whoops.
250, Raj. All right.
They just did a gauge check 15 minutes ago when they got on bottom.
Roger.
So I'm just going to do a walk around with them now.
Roger that.
But I'm not going to log them. Gauges are good.
No.
2. Right. Yeah. 250, Raj.
Looks like 0.2.
How big is this step?
It's as
This has gotta be fun.
Hang on a second.
For life. 250 for life.
Yeah, 250. Mm-hmm. Bridge nav, 20 meters, 250.
So back row, we want to do another white balance. How are we happy with the green? I think for video, do you mind if we do another white balance there?
Yeah, no problem.
All right, Kylie.
Raj. Works for me.
And control van, we have new pilot in the van. Her name is Kylie.
Hello.
She's rearing to go. She's kind of going to help me out a lot, especially because my wrist is pretty not happy.
Happy to be here. Can we do introductions so that I know everybody here?
Absolutely. And welcome to Team Pickle.
Oh, do I gotta? Oh, okay.
Sea pickles with a Z.
You don't gotta be a pickle. You can be whatever you want.
Where's the light?
Yeah, the light's been kind of weird.
Where is it? There we are.
There you go.
Nice. All right. Porch lights off and the lasers off.
Yes.
Zooming in.
I can.
Tim, you're really quiet.
Okay. Let's see. My video. How about now?
Still pretty quiet, but
maybe it's on your personal. Not that. I meant like the individual guy.
yeah, no, Tim's all the way up on mine.
Wow. Well, I can hear you, Tim.
Okay.
This is the same issue we've had a while.
Yeah, let me
Go ahead and finish the white balance, yeah?
Yeah,
Do you think?
thanks. Okay, I'm gonna push in a little farther. Any chance we could center that up at all, or is it just too?
I can do it.
Oh, there you go. Nice.
How's that? Oh, just kidding. How's that?
There we go.
Okay, I'm halted there.
All right. So I'm gonna. All right, ready for the black balance?
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
Oh no, just kidding. Sorry.
Too soon?
No.
Too soon?
All right. And away.